Set to be the star of the Olympic Games in Tokyo later this summer, Simone Biles first stars in Fort Worth, Texas, where this week she looks for a record 7th all-around national title. Other than Biles, though, spots on the women's Olympic team are up for grabs, and one of Biles' teammates is on a hot streak, hoping to prove herself on the national stage. Plus, a pair of Olympic medalists make their return to the U.S. Championships after years away, with new faces to contend against. Tonight in Fort Worth. NBC Sports welcomes you to the 2021 U.S. Gymnastics Championships from Fort Worth, Texas. Brand new arena, Dickies Arena here in Fort Worth, the site for the first time ever for the National Championships. Great to have you along. Terry Gannon alongside Nastia Lukin and Tim Daggett, the Olympic gold medalist. Guys, anytime you have the opportunity to watch the best in the world, whatever it is, do her thing, the best thing she does, well, you feel lucky. And tonight we get that chance with Simone Biles. We assume she's going to be a star in Tokyo. Nastia, what about tonight? What about this week? What's it all about for her?
Well, you know, she really is the greatest of all time, and she has more titles than any other athlete, gymnast out there. But for her tonight, it really is about setting herself even further apart than any other gymnast out there on the competition floor, and that's what she is continuing to do with all these new skills that we will be seeing some of them here tonight and, of course, in Tokyo as well.
So she won't have any problem making the team, by the way, the Olympic team. But other than Simone, who jumps out, Tim?
Oh, Suni Lee. She is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Does the hardest bar routine in the world, and that helps Team USA out immensely. She's fantastic.
You know whose job I really don't recommend at all? Tom Forster, the high-performance director for the U.S. team. Got to pick that team. 4 team members. Jade Carey, we'll talk about it, has an individual spot. Got another individual spot. But he does have Simone Biles, of course, to rely on. And, guys, recently she pretty much broke the internet with what she did at the U.S. Classic and that vault. She's going to be up on vault. We're going to see her first, but it's worth a look right now. How about this from Indianapolis 2 weeks ago?
Oh, it was absolutely incredible. And not only is this the most difficult vault in the entire world, had even way too much power.
Crazy. Look at the height. She just smashes it. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that tonight. In the warm-ups, she did not perform that vault. She went back to her older vault, the Aminar.
Why would she not do that tonight?
Well, you know, actually a few moments ago, I talked to her coaches right here in front of us, and I asked her exactly that, and she said, you know what, there's really no need to do it here. She did it at the U.S. Classic, the qualifying competition to the national championships. She will, however, do it at the Olympic trials in a few weeks, and, of course, in Tokyo.
Whatever she does, it'll be spectacular. But doesn't she know we're watching tonight? We're going to see that? No, she's something else. I mean, you run out of adjectives and ways to describe her. Yes, GOAT, greatest of all time. We kind of assume that now. Almost everyone, I think everyone, agrees with that. But she's not satisfied with what she keeps trying more difficult things. That's the amazing thing. I don't know how many athletes get to that level and keep doing new and more difficult things.
Well, I think that's, you know, the greatest of all times. Like any sport, they continue to try to not just be better than their competition, but just better than themselves. And we've talked about this, but 5 years ago now, when she won all the medals that she did at the Rio Olympic Games, she could have come out here this year and pretty much done the same routines that she did there and still be so much further ahead than the rest of the competition. And you know what? She didn't just do that and get back all of her skills and routines. She has done so much more.
Laurent Landy, her coach, said right from the beginning when he started coaching Simone after the Rio Games, he said, you need to compete against yourself. You have to push yourself every single day to be the best that Simone can be. It doesn't matter that nobody else is even close. And that's a fact. Nobody else is even close.
There we go. Just warm-up continues here. First rotation is underway already in Fort Worth. Ron and Nellie, her parents, watching. Spring, Texas is the site. Of course, she was born in Columbus, Ohio, but Spring, Texas is the training site. Now, long way. Texas is a big state, by the way. Yeah. That's not right here.
But, sure, but still nice to not have to get on a plane, right? To go to a national championship.
You can see some family members for the gymnasts tonight here watching the U.S. Championships. And, of course, in a couple of weeks, you've got the U.S. Olympic trials, which take place. And we'll know after those the 14 members who will be going to Tokyo.
Well, you know, I think without a doubt, she's pretty much the only lock without being a lock. You know, it's just for her to really just go out there these 2 days, compete here tonight, compete here on Sunday, 2 days at the Olympic trials, and she is well on her way to her second Olympic Games.
We saw Jordan Chiles, one of her teammates there, and she's been, boy, just on a hot streak. So much momentum going into these really critical couple of weeks.
Yeah, in the all-around, all 4 events, she has scored a 57 plus the board, then half turn to the table. She'll jump off that and do a laid-out somersault with 1.5 twists. Has a maximum starting score of 16.0. Her double pike that she debuted at the Classic has a provisional number of 16.6.
And waiting for the other events to take place right now, but you can hear, I was just listening in because I wanted to hear the crowd build, and they were, and then they realized, oh, it's going to be a moment. Here we go.
Just absolutely incredible. I mean, all night long we are going to see gymnastics just like this, and we've talked about what is it that makes her so great. It's really hard sometimes to put into words, but it is vaults like this. They are so extremely difficult, but she performs them with such ease. Look at this, a half turn onto the vaulting table, and look at the extension, the body position. Toes are pointed. Just
Now, see, that's the best one I've ever seen her do, of that vault.
I think you're absolutely right.
Just so much going on in the air, as we were saying. And a lot of times she does a kind of a quick little slide back. I'd call that a stick, though. Very, very hard to pull that off.
5 medals in Rio, 4 of them gold. The all-around, the team, the floor, the vault. Won the bronze on beam and favored to do at least that in Tokyo.
And you can really see the greatness of Simone Biles on this vault. She is just rocket fast back to the table and will just explode. Watch how high she is.
Oh my God.
Too much power. I'll tell you what, she could do, you know, I know she doesn't want to do a triple full, but she could do a 3.5. Absolutely, she could do it.
Well, and to that, I think she's going to say, I'll just do my Yurchenko double pike,
Yeah,
Tim.
You're right. Well, look at how fast her arms go back to the table. That is critical. And then she is instantly off the table. She's going up. She hasn't stopped going up. Wow.
And really almost has to kick out of it, using her arms out in the air to almost stop the rotation. So many athletes, when they do this vault, it's almost like they're barely finishing their twist by the time that their feet are hitting the ground. She finishes
Look
it.
at the height. It's unbelievable. She needed not her arms. She needed like a cape or like...
That's right. The slow down, right.
A parachute.
No, it's amazing. And we get to see it quite a bit, but you feel lucky every time you see her compete.
Look at that execution.
Yeah.
When was the last time we saw a 9.8?
Yeah, it's
probably from her.
Yes.
World all-around champ, Chelsea Memel coming back, and we saw her in Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago as well, and it is something, it's inspirational to watch her compete at this level again.
Her dad pulled me aside right before the meet, her dad and coach, and said, Chelsea hasn't competed this vault since 2006.
Watched it in warm-ups earlier this week. It was amazing. Wow.
Really good.
You know, I think when she did compete that in 2006, this might be even better than then.
I absolutely would agree.
Hug from her dad, Andy, and think about the courage that it's taken along the way. What started just as a workout session and having fun, and then the pandemic hit, she had more and more time, got a little more serious. She started to do things she didn't realize that she could do, and then said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and come back.
I mean, this has been such an inspiration to be able to watch her, as you said, Terry. It is just showing so many people, not just in the sport of gymnastics, but just all around the world, whether it's sports or just life, that age truly just is a number. She was vaulting right in front of us in the training session earlier, and she kind of gave us this look, like a deep breath. She was nervous, but...
How do you like those numbers right there? 14.75. It's in green, and just to give you a little look at making it maybe a little easier to watch the numbers and stay with the recent major international meets in green. You're excellent, safe in yellow, and you don't want to be in red. So take that all in as we go over to Jordan Chiles. Yes, the U.S. vault silver medalist in 2018, and right now just on a roll.
She'll do the same vault that we just saw from Chelsea. Excellent.
Yeah, that was great. Training a more difficult vault.
20-year-old from Vancouver, Washington, who in early 2019 moved to Texas to train in spring alongside Simone Biles. And it's not a bad person to train alongside.
Yeah, when you get to work out with the greatest of all time every single day. But she gets great block off that table as well. Really open position, right? As she's reaching for the ground, doesn't bend in her hips at all. It's going to be a big number.
All-around silver medalist at the 2017 U.S. Championship. So she does have some experience. But when you think about the Olympics and that team coming together, doesn't have that experience, but certainly every day in the gym with Simone Biles, and now having competed at this level, she's looking pretty good right now.
She really is. And, you know, we've talked about the Olympics being postponed, obviously, a year, and how for some it's been just luck has not quite been on their side because they were at their peak a year ago.
Yeah.
And then for others like Jordan, she, in my opinion, is better than she has ever been.
I agree, absolutely.
Yep.
And
Perhaps
so
that year pretty much, you know, helped her get to the place that she is here.
Made a big statement with a win at the All-Around at the Winter Cup in February, then the runner-up at U.S. Classic. Simone Biles, the star. What a start to the night here for the women in Fort Worth. The 2021 U.S. Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by Prevagen, the #1 pharmacist recommended memory support brand. By Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate, believe you will. And by Home Light. Selling starts at homelight.com. Get you caught up on this first rotation as we bring you back inside Dickies Arena, and Suni Lee, the 18-year-old from St. Paul, Minnesota, a little earlier on the uneven bars. Now, Steve.
Oh my gosh, and this is probably already the highlight of the night for me. Absolutely the most difficult bar routine in the entire world. And what makes it so difficult, not only are the skills, each and every single one, so hard, but the way that she connects it, every single one, there is no room for error.
right here, another sequence. This is the hardest bar routine in the world. She is a virtuoso. This routine, I believe, if she did it in Glass Worlds, that would have been the gold medal right there.
What a start. Certainly one of those hopefuls and in line to grab a spot. 15.3, the number.
Gigantic. But that's 6'8". The other highest score I've ever seen is 6'5" from anybody else.
How about Michaela Skinner earlier on vault?
Great first vault, great second vault, and this is where she can really add a lot to Team USA. She knows it, they know it. At the Classic, I thought she got a little underscored. They're a little bit more accurate tonight. 14.975, big score for her.
24-year-old from Arizona, so that's the number for her. But then on beam, Lori Hernandez, the 20-year-old who's one of the breakout stars in Rio. You see the knee wrapped and the effort on beam, and afterward we find out that that is it for her tonight. Not for the entire weekend, but tonight. We saw her up there in the warm-ups, and they wrapped and taped the knee, so obviously working on that. And now what you wanted to see from one of the top names here at the U.S. Championships as that comeback bid continued. Get you up to date as we go on, but more of Simone Biles, the star here in Fort Worth this week.